Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Kiona, and we're going to chat really brief 4 reasons that you should be using audiobooks with your students or with your children. And they're probably reasons that you've thought about before, but I want to reiterate these reasons because a lot of times I've gotten pushback from parents, or maybe not pushback, but questions from parents saying, are audiobooks reading? Does it count as reading time for my students? And yes, it actually does. And so let's talk about it. One of the benefits for using audiobooks is it exposes children to fluent reading, especially for those busy parents, myself included, when we don't have time to always do those read alouds that are really beneficial for our students. You can pop on an audiobook maybe to or from school on your way to soccer practice or whatever activity have you. Have them listen to an audiobook. One thing that I've done with my daughter is we'll listen to audiobooks when she's taking her shower. I'll put an audiobook on my phone or on a tablet. That way she gets her read aloud in, and I'm not always the one that has to do it. That way I'm able to clean up or do another task. And it also gives her great exposure to fluent reading. And I have previewed the book, so I'm still able to ask and answer questions with her. Next thing for our teachers, it fosters that home to school connection. So when you know that your child is reading Harry Potter, or if they're reading Anna Green Gables, or if they're reading Hair Love at school, or whatever have you, and you're able to get that book on audiobook, then you're able to ask them what questions about what they're doing at school, and really it fosters that home to school connection because you can listen to that same part with them at home, and then it emphasizes what they were listening to at school, especially if they forgot, and they can go home and do that with you, but then also go back to school and say like, hey, I listened to this with my mom and dad, grandma, whoever have you, my aunt, my uncle, whoever. So it just fosters that home to school connection. And it also helps them, remember what they read and what they listened to at school. This is super awesome for teachers, differentiation. So if you want to have a book club and you want to have multiple kids reading the same book, the book may be your read aloud book. Everyone can access it because you have it on audio. So what I like to do for my students is, in my book clubs, especially if it's a high interest book that kids want to read, what I'll do is I'll have an audio book and we'll listen to it, but everyone has a copy of the book, so we're following along. And so a lot of times kids will say like, oh, I didn't know that differentiation was spelled that way. I didn't know this word was spelled this way. And, seeing that in print, they're recognizing that. And then we do different activities too. And we could talk more about this in my coaching community and on Instagram too. So make sure you're following me on these different things to go a little bit further in differentiation. I'm trying to keep this video quick. And then the last one for now, it gives them exposure to those preferred texts, which I kind of hit on in differentiation a little bit, but it just gives them exposure to those preferred texts. So I might be in second grade, but really want to read Harry Potter. Harry Potter is not a second grade level book, but I'm able to read Harry Potter and talk about Harry Potter because I can listen to the audiobook. So just a quick review. Audiobooks are awesome for more than 4 reasons, but the 4 reasons that we're talking about today are exposes students to fluent reading. It fosters that homeschool connection because they're able to read the same book that they're reading at school and at home. You're able to talk to them about their school day and know about that book and ask and answer questions with them about that book. Differentiation inside the classroom because everyone can be reading the same book, even if everyone's not at the same level. And then exposure to preferred texts. I can be reading Harry Potter even if I'm only in second grade, or even if I'm only in first grade, whatever have you. Even if I'm in that grade level and I'm not able to read that book because I'm not able to read a book at that level, I'm able to read a preferred text. Last thing, want more details, want more information, make sure if you're an educator, you're on my educator newsletter. If you're a family, make sure you're on my family newsletter. I hope all those tips and ideas were helpful for you. And if you have questions, make sure you subscribe to those newsletters, which I will link in the description box.